Okay, so for the smart object first assignment, we have been told and asked to choose different cylinders. We didn't know exactly what type of cylinder has to be or specific dimension. We knew it at the very beginning that we have to interact with them and possibly eventually add some sensor to it. But because it was a very random choice, what we have decided is to go for a wood stick which has a specific length, so we could have applied a different function. Then we had a cork cylinder, and then we had a glass cylinder. Then we get a wax cylinder, a cardboard cylinder, and a cushion cylinder. For the first delivery, what we have to do is interact with those cylinders, pick up some strengths and some weaknesses, and decide what could have been done with those type of material. So because we were intrigued by some properties, we decided that it was better for us to remove the glass cylinder, remove the cork, and remove the cardboard cylinder. So we stayed with the soft, quite squishy material, the wax material, and the wood material. So in parallel, we have to discover the property of the material. So we use like this roll paper as a storytelling to show different characteristics. And then we had to draw some sketches and see how we interact with those different cylinders. So here, for example, you have the wax cylinder, and we can see the dimension, how it reacts with fire, with water, is waterproof, is malleable, and is easy to scratch, as I can show you here. So it's very, very moldable. After seeing the characteristic of our materials, what we have to do is discover the primary and secondary function, and we did a little task where we actually see the primary function of a mask and then add a temperature sensor that it will show on a display the temperature of people, okay, so to alert. And so we did the same for a chopping board. So by seeing the characteristic of our wax, we thought about a primary and secondary function we could apply to our cylinder, and we discovered that maybe the first the primary function would have been light, that it would have used a photoresistor, and so light up when the photoresistor detects that it's dark, as you can see in the example. So the secondary function as well of our lamp, it can be an air purifier, mist maker, by adding different sensors, and it would be suitable for workers, for youngers, for anyone who wants to use the light next to it and use a natural product, which is the wax beads. Our secondary choice would have been a cushion cylinder, and because it's soft and it can be squeezed, it suggests us to use a pressure sensor and use it as a cushion. So the people, when they sit in for such a long time, it will trigger a buzzer and remind the people to do some exercise after half an hour. So the person will sit for half an hour, and then it will have a sound and remind the people to just do some stretching and go back to work.
So after that, we talked about the characteristic of a wooden stick. So here are the characteristics. It's 1 meter long, diameter of 1 centimeter. It is very flexible, as you can see. You can turn it and you can break it and light it.
Okay, and our final cylinder, which is the wood stick, is actually our final decision, our final product, and this is because the dimension of the wood stick suggests us that it could have been used for blind people, so a very specific target user, and it will detect obstacles, so it will help the blind person to detect in advance by using an ultrasonic sensor, an LED and a buzzer, just if that person has an obstacle in front of them.